Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures.
That's another one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on too. And like, while we don't have like the greatest reach, I figure someone listening to this might be like, oh, I want to hear more about the behind the scenes, and we'll get into this later. But like, how to support these live streams and how to hopefully prevent Jason from burning out and all this crazy awesome work that he's doing out here, because it's basically on your shoulders. So that kind of segues nicely that you have ultimately become the live stream guy for not only OCR but hybrid racing, not just in the US, but like a lot of North America. So how did that transition come about?
I started in 2019 with the first race that I covered was a battle race, local, like Southern Louisiana race.
Sid, right?
Yeah, yep. Sid that people know from OCRWC Build Crew years ago, and now works with the Build Crew for Midwest OCR and Race Ready Obstacles, and all the work that they do all over the country, building like OCR, like obstacle courses in playgrounds and stuff. I don't know where they build this stuff, but they build stuff all over the place. It's really cool. But yeah, that's it. So I did one of his, and since then we've gotten to where we do Spartan, Savage Race, World Toughest Mudder, OCR World Championships, and a lot of it is just like talking to those people and saying, hey, I'm interested in doing this. And really, the whole reason it came up is because Spartan stopped doing their own live coverage, because they had great live coverage back in 2016, 17, 18. I forget, 18, 19 is when they really started to have like, we're going to put something out after the fact, but it's going to be just, we had rabbits run with the people, and we might edit it and just stitch it together, but have no commentary. Like, it was just straight, off the camera to
heavy breathing.
Yeah. So that was it. And so that's what made me be like, I wonder if I could figure out how to do this simply, cheaply, because they were spending a lot of money, and that's why they stopped doing it, because it was so expensive. And so I figured out how to do it fairly cheaply, and we did live for pretty much every race. Some of the races were, the coverage was not great because because we were doing it live with cell phones, but some of them were really good. So it took me through, 2024. Big Bear was the last live coverage that I did outside of World's Toughest and the last day of OCRWC. That was one where it was like, I know we've got good cell signal here, because I know the village, I know I've been in the area, but then even on race day, it was like once they got into the mountain, it just got really rough. And so that's when I decided, all right, I'm going to start trying post-production. And I was always worried about post-production being just too much work, basically. And I figured out, and we can get into this later, but I figured out how to do it relatively, I would say not effortlessly, relatively efficiently. Yeah, relatively efficiently. But to get into doing Spartan, it was like, hey, you guys aren't doing any live coverage anymore. I feel like I can provide this. Here's, like some tests that I've done. Here's a race that I've done. And they were like, all right, cool, let's try it. And I think one of the first ones that we did, we actually did a test in a New York. It wasn't a series race. It was just a New York Spartan. Okay. And me and David Megita went there, and we were on site, and it seemed like cell signal was going to be good. But as we've seen so many times, race day, it was really rough, and we had a lot of issues. And this was just a test. We didn't put it, like, I think it's on the internet, but it's not, I don't think it's even public. So that wasn't a great test, but they thankfully gave us another chance, and we did Utah in 21, I believe. And that one we had decent coverage, pretty good coverage out there. And we had Steve Hammond and Jack Bauer and Richard, one of the Spartan guys, another Spartan guy doing rabbiting. So we had three. Oh, we had Robert Killian rabbit too.
Oh wow.
And he poor guy twisted his ankle while he was out there rabbiting. So we had 4 rabbits, and good, all good runners, all great runners, obviously. And we had some issues still there, obviously, but overall it was a pretty good show. We had Bracken and we had 3 commentators, I believe. We had Bracken and Kirk and David McGee.
Okay.
Yeah. And then from there we continued to do that, and I think it just got to a point where those guys, everybody can't do it as a volunteer forever, and I get that. And I think David was trying to see if he can kick that off as more of a full-time thing. He even helped us get live streams with High Rocks. Like, he talked to them, and we did 2 live streams with them, which went great. Now Hunter being on the commentary wasn't as great because he said a lot of things that people didn't like. But
yeah, I saw that one. Yep.
Outside of that, the coverage itself, like, I went back and checked it out the other day. It wasn't bad. It was pretty good for what we're doing. And obviously what they're doing now is way better. Huge crew, lots of money going into it. So it's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And one thing that we always say is that we don't want to do live coverage just for us to do it. We want it because there's nobody else doing it. If somebody else can do it better than us, we're all for it. We want what's better for the sport.